Some burn inside the riders who never made it out, leaving only smoke and the whisper of a name, swallowed by the flames. Drifted low across the canyon rim, the sky gone red, turning daybreak dim. Boot prints melted where the heat ran wild, like the earth itself swallowed every outlaw child. Their silhouettes flickered in the burning glow, riders caught between the sparks and the undertow, and every hoofbeat felt like a tolling choir for the riders who never escaped the fire. Oh, the blaze roared louder tonight, devouring sins with a hungry light. Every heartbeat scorched like a funeral pyre for the riders who never escaped the fire. A shattered badge lay half buried in the grid, melted metal twisted where the flames had hid. Charred leather scraps clung to the blackened stones, ghosts riding shadows, rattling phantom bones. The wind carried a howl like a dying plea from the men who rode hard but were never free, and the ground still trembled like a string pulled tighter for the riders who never escaped the fire. Oh, the blaze roared louder tonight, devouring sins with a hungry light. Every heartbeat scorched like a funeral pyre for the riders who never escaped the fire. Fire ain't hell, just fate, waiting at the canyon where the doomed hearts wait. Some days burn slow, rising ever higher, till they swallow you whole in that outlaw fire. Oh, the night bled red through the smoke and pain, carrying every sorrow like a rusted chain. If redemption rolled beyond that burning wire, it left behind the riders who never escaped the fire. When the flames finally whispered their last breath, the ashes told a story no soul could claim. Burned deep, and no rider left to speak its name. They say a man rides alone, but some names carry shadows and never fall behind, only beside him, step for step. Dusk rolled in like a whispered curse, painting the trail in something worse. My horse breathed heavy in the cooling air, but the shadows beside me were always there. They moved like echoes of every light, quiet as ghosts beneath a dying sky. No matter how far or wide I came, shadows kept riding beside my name. Oh, mercy fades on a road like this, where every sin meets a clenched fist kiss. You can outrun towns, but never the blame of shadows riding beside your name. I saw them flicker in the canyon dust, born of regret, fear of busted trust. They matched my pace through the night's cold breath, like old debts walking hand in hand with death. A broken badge tucked against my chest, heavy with choices I never confessed. Even the wind whispered, who's to blame for shadows riding beside my name. Oh, mercy fades on a road like this, where every sin meets a clenched fist kiss. You can outrun towns, but never the blame of shadows riding beside your name. Maybe a man ain't judged by the deeds he claimed, but by the ghosts that cling to his name. And maybe the truth burns just the same as the shadows riding beside your name. Oh, the night grew cold and sharp as steel, cutting deep through the parts I tried to seal. If redemption waits past the midnight flame, it waits for the shadows beside my name. And when the trail grew quiet, I finally understood. A man don't choose his shadows, they choose him. Some men pray for mercy, some men run from sin, but there was one rider who didn't beg. He bargained with hell and kept riding anyway. across a barren ground, tracing the path where his fate was found. A whisper rose up from the canyon floor, like a deer scratched into a devil's door. His shadow stretched long in the crimson dust, bound by a promise forged in rust. Every heartbeat felt colder still for the rider who bargained with hell. Oh, the night cried low and wide as he rode where angel hells never stride. Fire in his breath, no soul to quail. The rider who bargained with hell. For sins he could barely withstand, the devil spoke soft from the burning ridge, offering freedom on a shaking bridge. He looked back once at the life he knew, then rode on through the blood-red hue. The deal hung heavy like an iron bell on the rider who bargained with hell. Oh, the night cried low and wide as he rode where angels never stride. Fire in his breath, no soul to quail. The rider who bargained with hell. Maybe damnation ain't a fiery pit. Maybe it's the road you never quit. Maybe the cost ain't the tale you tell, but the silence after the bargain with hell. Oh, the wind screamed through his name, dragging embers from the flame. If redemption came, none could tell. For the rider who bargained with hell. And when the dust finally settled, they swore they saw two sets of tracks. One human, one not, disappearing into the firelit dark. Faith don't always break in church pews. Sometimes it snaps out on the trail, where dust remembers every promise a man failed to keep. Sky, hooves dragging slow as the miles crawl by. A cracked compass hangs from a fraying thread, pointing nowhere, just like the prayers I fled. My hands still tremble from the weight I bore, from the vows I cracked on the canyon floor. Every step felt heavy with what I betrayed. Dust trails drawn in, broken faith I made. Oh, the road don't hide a sinner's past, it scatters it wide with every gust that's past. No hymn, no preacher, no saving rave, just dust trails drawn in broken faith. A wilted scripture slipped from my coat, words washed thin like a dying note. I watched it fall where the shadows bend, where truth and regret learn to blend. The sun burned hot on my weathered spine, like it knew the sins I called mine. Even the wind whispered of the path I strayed. Dust trails drawn in broken faith I made. on my whispering breath, haunted by choices that walk with death. If mercy waits in some far-off place, it'll follow the dust, drawn in broken faith. And when the trail settled quiet again, the earth kept the record, each grain of dust, a piece of the faith I shattered. I shattered. The wind don't sing for many men, but when it does, it's either a blessing or a warning carved in cold air. Night settled soft on the canyon rim, carrying whispers worn and dim. His boots drag slow through dying dust, heavy with memory, burden and rust. The sky ash pale like a closing door, echoing steps he'd walked before. Every breath felt thin and grim when the wind sang his final hymn. Oh, the shadow leaned in tight, calling him home through the fading light. No mercy left on the desert's brim when the wind sang his final hymn. A lone coyote howled from a distant rise, as if mourning the ghost in his tired eyes. A broken locket swung against his chest, holding a face he never laid to rest. The wind grew sharp, a sacred tone, like a preacher's voice carved out of stone. Even the stars grew distant and dim when the wind sang his final hymn. Oh, the shadows leaned in tight, calling him home through the fading light. No mercy left on the desert's brim when the wind sang his final hymn. Maybe a man don't choose his end, maybe it's chosen by the roads he's sent. Maybe the truth grows quiet and slim right before the wind sings its final hymn. Oh, the night bowed low at last, carrying echoes of his troubled past. Nothing left but the world grown dim when the wind sang his final hymn. And when the breeze finally died, it felt like the earth itself had whispered his name goodbye. They say the hills remember every prayer, even the ones whispered by the damned. And when fire blackened their bones, the prayers didn't die. They just turned into ghosts. Cold wind, creeping down the ash-scarred ridge, carrying nickels from a burned-down bridge. A cracked hymn rises from the dirt and stone, sung by voices that never made it home. My footsteps sink where the shadows spill, where the night leans heavy and the world stands still. Every breath felt older than the graves they fill. Ghost prayers from the blackened hills. Oh, the smoke still hums their names, riding low on forgotten flames. No church left standing, no soul to thrill, just ghost prayers from the blackened hills. Like a plea undone, reaching for a light that'll never meet the sun. A rusted locket glints beneath the soot, holding memories time refused to foot. Crow circles slow where the sinners bled, guarding the stories no scripture read. Even the earth feels colder than a winter's chill. Ghost prayers from the blackened hills. The smoke still hums their names, riding low on forgotten flames. No church left standing, no soul to thrill, just ghost prayers from the blackened hills. Maybe the dead don't rest in peace, maybe they rise in the wind's cold crease. Maybe their hymns never learn to stay still, wandering forever through the blackened hills. Oh, the night sings soft and low, carrying voices from long ago. If mercy walks where the dark winds will, it'll hear ghost prayers from the blackened hills. And when the wind finally dies, the silence feels like a graveyard breath, holding every prayer refuse to burn away. They say storms don't choose their sinners, but some nights under blackened sky, lightning carves a man's fate before he even knows he's lost. Thunder growled low on the canyon rim, a warning whispered like a ghost on him. Rain hit the dust with a trembling roar, washing sins I'd carried far too long before. My coat clung tight to a heart-worn thin, marked by the weight of every old sin. And the heavens cracked open like judgment formed, an outlaw marked by midnight storm. Oh, the sky wrote truth in fire and rain, every flash revealing every stain. No place to hide, no shelter to transform, an outlaw marked by midnight storm. Lightning its shadows across my trail, drawing lines of a life destined to fail. The wind tore hard at my ragged name, stripping every lie I tried to tame. A battered cross swung against my chest, cold as the faith I never addressed. Still the thunder chased me wild and warm, an outlaw marked by midnight storm. Oh, the sky wrote truth in fire and rain, every flash revealing every stain. No place to hide, no shelter to transform, an outlaw marked by midnight storm. Maybe a storm don't punish the weak, maybe it finds the ones who seek a sign carved deep where darkness forms, a fate branded by the midnight storm. And if redemption waits past the coming morn, it'll rise for the outlaw marked by midnight storm. When the last thunder faded, the sky stayed black, as if the night itself wasn't done with me yet. the laws, but some burn for the damned. Those who walk roads where mercy never quite reaches. Flickered in the midnight dust, glow trembling soft like a soul I couldn't trust. The wind carried whispers from forgotten men, voices pulling me back to the places I'd been. My boots stirred ashes of a past grown cold, stories of regret no preacher ever told. Still the fire burns steady in a mournful glow, lanterns burning for the damned below. Those lights don't shine for the blessed, they burn for the weary, the faithless, the stressed. Every spark feels like a truth I never showed. Lanterns burning for the damned on the road. Trail wound through crooked pines where ghosts kept watch over buried signs. The lanterns glow danced on a weathered stone, marking every sin I thought I'd faced alone. Shadows curled tight like a serpent's coil, God and memory sunk deep in the soil. Still the flame refused to ebb or slow, lanterns burning for the damned below. Oh, those lights don't shine for the blessed, they burn for the weary, the faithless, the stressed. Every spark feels like a truth I never showed. Lanterns burning for the damned on the road. Fire ain't meant to save, just meant to guide those bound to the grave. A beacon for hearts too heavy to hold, a promise whispered in ember and gold. Oh, the night stretched wide and cold, holding every sorrow I'd yet to unfold. If redemption waits, it waits in the afterglow, beyond the lanterns burning for the damned below. And as I walked on, the lantern's flame followed, soft as a prayer, heavy as a curse. Some canyons hold silence, others hold the weight of every sin, ever whispered into their broken walls, and some echoes never die at all. Dust rolls slow as I step through the bend, heat pressing down like an old condemned friend. The cliffs lean close with their jagged grays, like they knew every secret I tried to erase. A cold wind circled where no wind should blow, carrying voices from years I tried not to know. step felt heavier the further I'd go, in the canyon where sin still echoed. Oh, the walls cried out my name, carving guilt in a haunted flame. Every whisper sounded like a dead owl, in the canyon where sin still echoes. Refused to leave me alone. Blueprints faded where the guilty ones fell. Their stories burned quiet in a private hell. A rusted rope swayed from a weathered pine, swinging soft like a warning sign. The ground hummed low with a ghostly glow, in the canyon where sin still echoed. The walls cried out my name, carving guilt in a haunted flame. Every whisper sounded like a dead owl, in the canyon where sin still echoes. Silent in the dying light, holding every wrong I had dragged through the night. If forgiveness weighs, it waits far below, beyond the canyon where sin still echoes. And when I turned to leave, the echo followed, like a shadow that knew I'd return someday. Some roads are written in dust, but the damn ones, they're carved in blood, and every mile sings its own dark hymn. Red dove settling on a broken trail, who's beating soft like a mournful tale. A torn hymn book lies in the desert cold. This page is stained by the stories untold. My shadow stretched thin across the bend, like a warning whispered by an old dead friend. Every heartbeat felt heavy and old, hymns carved in the blood of the road. Oh, the wind cries low tonight, found the light. Every step feels sharper than a sword's own cold. Hymns carved in the blood of the road. Rusted sign leans toward the dying sun, marking where 1,000 souls try to run. Bones half buried sing beneath my stride, echoes of the men who never made it to the other side. The sky turned dark with a bitter glow, as if heaven itself refused to know. Still the trail poured hard, the shadows strode, hands carved in the blood of the road. Never found the light. Every step feels sharper than a sword's own cold. Hymns carved in the blood of the road. Maybe damnation don't roar, it hums. A quiet hymn in the place you're from. Maybe the truth is a debt that can't be owed, written in blood along the road. Oh, the night pressed deep into my name, dragging every sorrow, every flame. If redemption waits where the wild winds blow, it'll rise from the blood of the road. When the trail finally went silent, the dust settled like a closing prayer, one carved in red and meant for no one's salvation.